July. So songs for the next, I'm an old lady. I'm tired and it's raining outside. So I'm chilling and I'm in my pajamas and slippers and I'm doing it up. Songs were In Memory of You by Soulfly. Games for Days by Gillian Plenty's, basically Paul Banks. And Maps by the AES. And I have to drink coffee because I'm tired. Let's see who we have next here. Everything you need to know, as you can tell by the new opening that I got. Check the description box. Cancer. All right, it's your birthday season, so happy birthday to you. Let's get started. We're going to start with the I Am Power Pack, followed by, we're going to use the Shadowscapes Tarot for you. And we're going to do past, present, future spread. And then we're going to pull some magnetic poetry. So let's see what we have for you for July. What's your affirmation that'll get you through in one piece? We'll see. We'll see what we get. I did sell my table. So we've been kind of, going through our stuff, figuring out I don't have anything on the walls. I think I had said in the Pisces reading also, because I've got like my whole office is getting set up here at home. So that, I'm on a desk again at home and, not really sure what we're going to do in the office as far as putting things on the walls and stuff. I really have a thing for making sure stuff is symmetrical and stuff like that. So I'm not really wanting to hang anything behind me because it'll be in the corner. Yeah, it's a whole thing. In memory of you, so there's something about religion that seems prevalent for you in your energy this month. Lots of work towards your spirituality. In particular, Christianity keeps popping up, especially in that song. It's about, the scriptures and about turning to the Bible, but also looking at your spirituality more deeply. There's also something of an element of, somebody's looking at getting married or contemplating marriage, especially with Maps being about, they don't love you like I love you. And there's a beautiful story about how that song was written. Karen O at the time was seeing a guy in another band. His name was Angus, and Maps actually stands for My Angus Please Stay, because he was about to go on tour somewhere. And They Don't Love You Like I Love You is kind of directed towards that, My Angus Please Stay. That's what MAPS stands for. Because he was going away and she didn't want him to go. But yeah. And then Games for Days. I just, when I was about to take the headphones out, when I started my video here, the line, you know me, you're my queen of hearts. Come back and see me soon. So somebody is leaving. And somebody misses that individual. Queen of Hearts, coincidentally, is the Queen of Cups, which is your card in the tarot. So this is energy that's directed towards you. You're my Queen of Hearts. Come back and see me soon. Somebody is definitely missing you or is sad to see you go somewhere. And there's a definitive feminine energy about this. So it could be very well that I'm really looking at a female Cancerian individual. I do want you to check out your other placements if you don't know how to, you should go to a place like Cafe Astrology to figure out what your other placements are. But let's see. Well, that was easy. Kind of just popped right out, didn't it? I am in love. Yeah, you're in love with somebody. And that's your affirmation for this month here, for July. It's something that might be powerful, might be the push that makes you move. So kind of just thinking about that, that's what's on your mind, but it's something that you're telling yourself it's compelling for you. Like I said, it's a push that makes you move. It's something that propels you forward during the month of July. But again, I think also there's a huge aspect of things that is about Christianity and about your spirituality that's also huge. Like I said, I think somebody who's getting married, a lot of the time we look at the institution of marriage and how much spirituality is wrapped up into that union of the two in that regard. I think that's huge. And I think that actually factors in massively. So we'll see. But let's see what we have for you in your past, present, future energy for July. Let's get to it. I'm always interested about the Cancerian collective because my moon sign's Cancer. So it's interesting, it's intriguing to me to see how the energy shakes out, for sure. But let's see what we have. Queen of Hearts, come back and see me soon. I'll come back and see you soon. You know, you're my Queen of Hearts, come back and see you soon. Yeah. Somebody's left you or is departed from you and is coming back, or wants to come back, is looking forward to the day when I can see you again after, you know, kind of having to go away. It's like two lovers who are, you know, I think at the end of that version of Maps, it was a studio version, and she says at the end, like, I do, in a very triumphant way. It's like I said, two people are getting married. Two people are getting married, or there's a plan to get married here. Yeah. Okay, twist for fairness. I only take flippers and jumpers. If you've been here before, you know. I also do channeled messages at the same time. Let's see what we have for you. That was rather King of Wands. So in the recent past, this is fixed energy. My kings are always a fixed energy. This is Leo energy. Potentially during Leo season last year, and I'm very definitive about my court cards in my minor arcana, so I am going to assert that this is Leo energy. Some people often will look at the King of Wands also as Aries energy. I don't. But this is particularly somebody who presides over themselves in a very regal way. They're very brave. They're also somebody who might lose their temper a little bit more than one would like, naturally. But this could also be timing during last Leo season when there was a need for courage. The need to hold one's temper, but also to tame the inner beast of passion. This could be an individual who's very focused on attention, focused on garnering the attention of others, you know, and that can be a good thing or a bad thing in a lot of ways. Somebody who loses their temper easily, but it could also be somebody who has a very firm hand as a leader. Sometimes I see that for Aries more than I do for Leo, but I do also think that's a huge thing to remember. Somebody who's also very proud, prideful. Sometimes their pride can get in their way. Okay, let's see what else we have for you during the past. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. It's interesting. All of my air signs came out all at the same time when I was starting my readings for July. I think it's really interesting and potentially just coincidental that this is the second water sign in a row that I've had, because I try to do it fair, right? That's why I shake the dice. We have Ace of Wands, a spark of creativity, inspiration. I always call this the matchstick of the divine. Some people also consider it a phallic symbol, but there's passion here, a passionate beginning, creativity, an idea of sorts, something that somebody is proud of. You might have sparked inspiration for this person. You could also be a Cancer, Leo cusp individual, so somebody who's born in the back end of Cancer season, so that would be mid-July. But this is an idea, the beginning of an idea or a beginning of a creative endeavor that shows great promise for you in the recent past. What else? Something that requires clever thinking. Also, I'm getting here. Sly thinking with the foxes there. Okay, what else? Oh, I only take 3 if they fall in groups, and we have 3 here. We have the Chariot in the reverse, so that's no movement forward, a lack of travel, delays with travel, no change in address also. So it might be because of the inspiration in the Ace of Wands, or that new beginning, that inspired beginning, that passionate new beginning, that there was a lack of forward movement or a halt in travel plans. I'm definitely getting it on my third eye right here, right now. So halt in travel plans. It could also be that there was a delay in a move of address, a change of address. This is your card. The Chariot is the card of Cancer. So it's some delay or some halt to forward movement, forward progress, that is brought about by this idea. It could also be because you are exercising, because of pride getting in somebody's way. could be, and a lack of courage, or because somebody is being brave. But that's kind of contradictory, right? I don't know. There's a need for gaining perspective. So that might be why the forward movement is kind of slowed here, is because you're attempting to gain perspective on something. Piscean energy. The need to hang oneself upside down voluntarily in order to see things from a different angle, to see all of the different angles that are at play in a situation. With the Queen of Swords, absolutely. To make sure that things are fair, that there is absolutes in equilibrium, and that everything is just, that there is ultimate truth in a situation. Libra energy there. This could be energy that carried you all the way through the summer into Libra season, which would be mid-October, ending in mid-October. But ultimately it looks to be that the gaining of perspective is there because you want things to be fair. You want things to be just and equal. And the need to make your decisions from a place where they are balanced is huge here, especially with that lack of forward movement. You're taking a second to hit the pause button so that you can gain perspective and make sure that your action moving forward is balanced, fair, just, that you're operating out of a place of truth, and that it's precise, right? What else do we have? Finally, in the past for you, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So we have a flipper here that I'm going to take first. And these will be, because we have 3, we'll leave those for the present energy. The Tower in the reverse, there's something rather surprising that comes about also in the recent past. Unexpected. It's a pleasant unexpectedness, though. Or it's something that's it's diminished in its state when it's in the reverse. The Tower isn't necessarily always a negative card. It does have a lot of negative connotations because normally when we get sideswiped by things, we always anticipate that that's going to mean that it's something that's not so great. But here it seems that because we're looking at something from a balanced perspective, we want things to be fair, that it could be that you're attempting to mitigate something that you know is going to bring about a shocking event or is going to sideswipe somebody else. And in the recent past, that's why you're attempting to gain perspective and come at it from an angle that is balanced and just and fair. And that's why you're not moving forward with something, you're delaying something. Because you understand that it will be a bit of a all comes crashing down type moment. That's a metric song, all comes crashing down. There is something of a surprise here in the past that comes to you. Could have to do with a court case or with something that has to do with justice or fairness, and the balance of things. But I'm more than anything else, I see this as something that you anticipate is going to be shocking for everybody around you, and that's why you're hitting a pause button on something. In the present, we have these 3 cards. We'll just, the Hierophant in the reverse, the Knight of Swords in the upright, and the Queen of Cups. There you are. Know you're my Queen of Hearts. Come back and see me soon, or come back and see you soon. The Hierophant in the reverse is typically something that commonly in the tarot community, a lot of people look at this as a divorce card. They also look at it often as the toppling of institutions with like highly structured institutions, religious organizations, that kind of a thing. But it's also a card that talks about permission versus not permission. I think that you're needing to be brave in looking at in the present the deconstruction or destruction, if you will, of something that is very highly structured, that has taken time to build, that has to do with highly, it's on the tip of my tongue, highly established values and it's something that's highly established in and of itself. It's almost as if it is a structure. This could also be about in the present dealing with sage advice that doesn't seem correct, or looking towards a therapist for advice but feeling that it's not right. It's almost as if there's something that's well established that you know is going to need to fall. And you understand that bravery is required, but you have an idea that's going to help assist you in this endeavor of dismantling something. You need to grant yourself the permission to move forward with it, because typically the Hierophant is somebody who's permission versus not permission, and it seems that in the present you're still needing to exercise some sort of bravery about granting yourself the permission to move forward with something. You know that there needs to be something dismantled in the present. There is an idea here. You do have the spark of inspiration that this does need to be impulsive action moving forward in order to do whatever this is, to carry out this task. It could even be that there's just a total collapse with that Hierophant in the reverse. It could be that there's a collapse of highly structured beliefs, deep-seated beliefs, if you will, or philosophies, and you're questioning those in the present. But there is an idea that's sparked with that Ace of Wands that has to do with impulsive action moving forward. The Knights are action cards, right? And the Knight of Swords is about Quicksilver energy. It's somebody, by the way, Gemini card here. It's about somebody who, since Gemini season, has been looking at moving forward impulsively, almost like ripping the Band-Aid off, especially with the Ace of Wands and that Hierophant. It's as if you understand that you do need to be brave, and your idea, that creative spark that you have with that Ace of Wands in the past, and that's Hierophant in the reverse, it's almost like you know that even though something is highly established and that structure is there, ripping the Band-Aid off is probably the best course of action in order to, accomplish what you've set out to do. Otherwise, you know that you'll sit in that Chariot in reverse energy moving forward. Intuitively, you know this. You've connected with yourself, and even in the present, you're having the conversation with yourself about intuitively understanding and appreciating your heart space and acting in your best interest. You're connecting with yourself and questioning why you hadn't moved forward in the past. I think the thing is that even though there is a questioning of all of this, you understand on a deeper level what the right course of action is for your highest good. And that in order to move forward, there does need to be some impulsive action. Connecting with yourself is going to be your greatest strength here. It's like intuitively, the stagnance of the past cannot continue. And you have ideas about how to do this. I think there's more fear here than anything else. We'll see. What else do we have? Yeah, you're my Queen of Hearts, the crown. The crown chakra. You might need to meditate a little bit in order to connect a little bit deeper. Meditation can be your best friend when you're trepidatious about moving forward in certain situations, or you're not quite sure how to proceed. But meditating, chakra cleansing, actually, because I've had the third eye and I've had the crown here during your read. Could be chakra cleansing. Reiki might also be important for you during this time. Doing some healing through chakra cleanses, some Reiki, in order to get that chi kind of figured out for yourself. Because you're looking to gain perspective on something in the past. And it's moving forward in a way that says, there's a questioning of my beliefs. There's something that I always thought was highly established that I'm starting to look at from a different angle. And there's something that I have to dismantle so that I can build over. And it's almost like ripping the Band-Aid off is your best idea of the proper course of action, but it's not necessarily how you would normally operate. You're trying to turn inward, turn into, I know what I know. It might be important for you to turn to spirituality in the scriptures in order to look at that deeper and connect back with yourself after doing so, to have the conversation about what this is that you're looking to move impetuously forward with. Tell me more. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. We have a flipper, and then we have 3 more here. I think I'm taking these 3 first. They're all going in the present line. Okay. So we have the Page of Swords in the reverse. You're trying to turn a blind eye to something, willful ignorance, avoidance of looking at something deeper. You're trying to ignore something. Attempting to connect with yourself intuitively and kind of putting the blinders on, trying not to look at other things. Page of Swords is normally in the upright. It would be somebody who's attempting to look at something in order to learn. It's also considered a stalker card. I don't necessarily like to always interpret things from that popular space. I don't like to just kind of, you know, blurt out that kind of thing. But here, it's somebody who's ignoring what they could look deeper into in order to learn more about something. It's almost as if you're saying to yourself that you know you need to gain perspective on something, but at the same time, connecting with yourself is far more important than looking outwards at something else. You have to turn inward, turn into. I keep hearing turn inward. Don't look outside of yourself. The best thing for you to do right now is to connect with yourself as opposed to looking outside of yourself for the answers. And there's a question about being fair to yourself as well. You're trying to defend something. There is defensive energy here. You're trying to defend what is right and just and fair, but you're also attempting to ignore something. And you're ignoring something as a means of defending what is right and just and fair, but you're turning a blind eye to something in order to do so. You might fear learning something that could be rather surprising. But then you take inspired action in the present, at the end of the present time frame here, as a result of turning inward and connecting with yourself as opposed to looking outside of yourself for the answers. That spark of creativity, creative energy, that creativity, that matchstick of the divine, that inspired idea that you had in the past, you eventually turn to a Knight of Wands energy, that action moving forward, that inspired, passionate action moving forward. It happens for you, and it actually might surprise a lot of people because you need to defend what is right and just for yourself. And it might very well be that the most important thing that you can do is forget and ignore what other people think and say and what they're doing, and stick to your guns about what is best for you. But also ignore what everybody else is doing because you need to defend something for yourself. Focus on yourself. The Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, see? This is stagnancy, not moving forward slowly, a halt to something on the material plane or something that would be built in the tangible world. This is a standstill. This is also Taurus energy. And this would be our Sagittarian energy. But there's passionate action moving forward as opposed. It's almost like saying, the right direction. You have 2 different directions you could travel here. You could either take the slow, methodical, strategic route, or you could take the passionate, fiery action forward. And your choice is here. People are surprised because you've decided this is the way to go, not this way. That's actually what it's saying to me. People will be surprised by that you're charging forward so quickly and so fervently, as opposed to, you know, hanging back and plodding along methodically. You're saying, no, I'm not going to hang back and you know, slowly move towards something. I'm going to burst forward with that fiery energy behind me. Okay. In the future for you, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. The Page of Pentacles in the reverse, yeah. And you're making no apologies for it. This is usually a peace offering, a timepiece, but something of a communication that has to do with tangibility. You're not communicating everything about questioning your own beliefs in the future. It's almost as if you make no apologies for the fact that you are dismantling something. A token of appreciation isn't being paid to someone. You're not doing anybody any favors moving forward. Because there has been in the present, there has been such a deep questioning of things that were long established. And your philosophies on how things have been so, they've been shook. And everything's being dismantled that you always knew. You're giving yourself permission to not do anybody any favors. And you're communicating, don't do me any favors. Actually, yeah, don't do me any favors. You're communicating that to somebody. And this dismantling of things, that actually might be something you say when you take the impulsive action moving forward. The impulsive action of the Knight of Swords with the Knight of Wands. You're taking impulsive, passionate action moving forward that's inspired. It's creative. And it's like the air and the fire together is like fireworks. Or it's like a crash, boom, bang. Oh, that's like isn't that like a Roxette album, Crash, Boom, Bang? Joyride. Taking a joyride. You're taking a trip. And then somebody, when all this kind of goes down, they're going to have like a little comment to make. And you're like, yeah, don't do me any favors. I kind of feel like that. I can hear it. Okay, what else? Oh, jeez. Just, you're going by threes. Again, I think that spirituality, and especially if you're a Christian or Christianity, I think that that's something that's prevalent for you because everything's coming out in the Trinity. And you actually hear somebody talk about the Trinity in that In Memory of song. I mean, maybe some of these songs that I talk about when I'm listening to stuff before I do reads, maybe they're not your jam. But if they're not your jam, listen to read the lyrics at the very least, right? In the future for you, there's your Ace of Swords. There's your truth, your ultimate truth, your personal truth. We have the Four of Cups in the reverse, the Ace of Swords in the upright, and the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, you have two new beginnings here, or two initiations of sort. There's a realization of a truth here. After coming out of some energy of, so the Four of Cups is like, looking at cups and feeling that lackadaisical disinterest, disinterest in things that are being offered to you by the universe. You're taking the cup that's being offered to you by the universe. You're taking it upon yourself to come out of energy of disinterest, where you would normally sit there and it's like a boredom, a feeling of boredom that you no longer have. You're bringing yourself out of it. Again, I feel like it's like you're finally feeling passionate about something after an extremely long time of just every day is exactly the same. But it took you having a fire lit up under your ass in order to do it. And connecting with yourself and learning a deep personal truth that's extremely important to you. It comes with an offer, an initiation of something that can be built on the tangible plane with that Ace of Pentacles too. It's something that you can start and that you know will be of worth one day. But it is beginning as a result of you having a large realization that comes along with grace. It's a graceful realization. After connecting up with your intuition, it took time for you to arrive there. And you had to ignore everything that was going on external to you. You've had to turn a blind eye to some things in order to connect up with yourself, because I think that you ultimately could get distracted by the things that are going on around you. In order to connect up with what is true in your heart, you've had to lock the energy of other people out. Because it's so easy to get sucked into that other energy of other people and other people's problems and other people's needs and wants and wishes. But what do you need, want, and wish? Right? It ultimately comes with a reward of a new beginning. You know? That you will have to defend. You're going to have to defend this new beginning, and you're going to actually have to say, look, this is my truth. This is my truth. Huh? Okay. Anything else for you, Cancer? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Yeah, there's fear. There's fear. The Devil card, Capricorn. This is Capricorn's card. Fear, obsession, greed, but also the knowledge that if you harness all things that other people can abuse in excess, if you harness the power appropriately, and hold those things, hold respect for those things, as opposed to living in excess, that you can ultimately be successful. This is a warning. You have to defend your right to operate outside of fear and obsession and greed. You have to defend your right to indulge. Some people might consider this new beginning an indulgence of sorts or a sin of sorts. There's something that people are saying about it that makes it like it feels wrong. But you know it's your truth, so you must not deviate from that path. The Devil in the upright is about holding like I said, holding a deep respect for the things that we normally all of the things on material plane that we can often do or enjoy to the point of excess. Good food, good sex, good drink, shopping, gambling. But you can play a card game and put it away. You can have a glass of wine with dinner and put the bottle away. That's why they have wine stops. You know, you can have a delicious meal and be satisfied and satiated as opposed to stuffed. And when you finally recognize and learn the power of that, that is true power. Being able to preside over the things on the material plane, that is self-mastery. And I think that you're having to defend yourself in some regard around that, around the new beginning. You're afraid what people will think about this new beginning. You're having to defend it. I keep on saying that because the Seven of Wands is about this. You're having to defend that forward, passionate action, because there will be people who are going to comment on it from a space of believing that it's wrong, or it's not okay, or it's an indulgence of some sort. Fear is a liar. Comes to mind with this as well. Don't be afraid when it comes to new beginnings, because you understand this is your personal truth. Right? Fear is a liar. And fear is a liar. It's kind of like when we look at things like indulgence. Why do people have addictions? People have addictions because they are ultimately afraid of themselves. It's often easier to tune out, to ignore our problems, to numb out, to put a pause button on life, than it is to confront ourselves or to spend time with ourselves, or to move forward. Escapism is such that it's escapism, you know. And when you're no longer living in excess, or when you hold dominion over those things and you master those things, you then have to deal with your problems. You then have to feel, you know. And that sometimes can be the scariest thing. Because what do you do when the truth is not convenient? I would pose the question, is your company so bad that you can't spend time alone with yourself? That you have to enjoy something to excess? But that's only one interpretation when it comes to the devil. And I firmly believe that this is about fear and obsession, the obsession of fear itself. And that you're afraid that people are going to believe that this is an indulgent idea or an indulgent beginning, or that it's not right, or it's a sin of sorts, when really you are attempting to navigate in the future how to preside over the energy of things that normally people would indulge into excess, or that some people might consider wrong, when in fact they're only wrong if you do not moderate yourself, or if you do not have self-control, right? Yeah, people have such terrible twisted ideas about the devil card, right? When it's your tarot card, you can speak at length about it. Yeah. All right. What else? I think it's fear, though. I don't think it's addiction. I think it's fear. But it's my job to give you everything. Okay, lastly. Yeah. Six of Wands. It's victory, homecoming. There's a feeling of loss here when it comes to something like you lost out on something, or a lack of triumph over a situation. I think that it's because you're lost in the opinions of others, though. Normally, Six of Wands would be victorious homecoming. The guy on the horse with the victory banner coming home and everybody's celebrating. I think that there's somebody who robs a victory from you, or a feeling of triumph from you, even though you do have the victory. I think that this is actually also a warning that if you're operating out of a space of fear, or listening to people's opinions about what you do, and that can also be a part of the devil card, are those voices in our heads that tell us that we're not capable, or that we're not good enough, that scarcity mindset. Those things are also a part of the devil. And if we listen to those, it robs us ultimately of anything that we would ever consider a victory. Because you cannot give yourself credit for where credit is due if you're living in a scarcity mindset, or in a fear-based mindset, or in a victimhood mindset, or in an excess-based mindset, or in an addictive mindset. Sometimes the biggest demons we have are the ones we hold in our own head. I think that's what I'm getting here. Because that defensive energy is here. You're having to defend something. And it robs you. You have these two beginnings here, and beginnings are always important and big and huge and nice, and they're full of promise. They're pregnant with promise. But as soon as that comes in there, your victory is lost. Your feeling of pride is lost. Because, yeah. Anyway, I can go on forever and ever. Anyway, bottom of the deck for you. Overall energy is the Two of Wands in the reverse, without delay. No more waiting on something. You understand now is the time. There is no better time than now. You need to do something now. You need to move on something now. You've been waiting and waiting and waiting and ruminating about it, and kind of just sitting around and trying to figure out the best way to approach something. There is no better. If not me, who? And if not now, when? Right? Yeah. All right, let's get your magnetic poetry and then we'll be done. I did decide that what I'm going to do moving forward is I'm going to do it in list form instead of doing it in like this way, because I don't like people assuming that the sentences are being made, or that there's like something that I'm trying to encourage by like I'm trying to steer it in one direction or another. So, okay, let's see here. Oh, by the way, say hi to my sugar skull that I got in Mexico. Pretty cool, eh? Yeah, I got a couple of things, but this is one of them. Anyway, yeah, let's see. Not a lot of stuff here. You have, this could either be a yes, or it could be just an initial. not a whole lot of stuff for you here. But there you have it, Cancer. Enjoy the rest of your birthday season. We'll see you when we see you next. And, you know, fear is a liar. Remember. All right. Bye now. Let's take a look at your spread here. There you have it. Pretty good. Pretty cool. All right. Okay. Bye.